quick pause. I hope you came back right away because we're kind of continuing on what we were talking about. Before, in the first part, we just talked about chemical equations, balancing them, what the products are, what the reactants are, and so forth. And we went over one of the chemical equations for photosynthesis, which you guys absolutely are going to hear over and over and over and over and over and over again, okay? I mean, I didn't stop hearing about photosynthesis all through college. So you really need to understand this equation, and it's a pretty easy one, and I have a video to show you in just a moment that you'll like. But you have carbon dioxide, which is what we breathe out. Good thing you can't smell breath through the computer. No, just kidding. I just brushed my teeth. And then water. Just think about plants. Plants need water, right? They also need sunlight. We call that light energy because basically there's these handy dandy little, organelles within a plant called chlorophyll. Those are basically the pigments in the plant that allow photosynthesis to take place. So through sunlight, which you have to have, you're going to convert carbon dioxide and water, not you because you're not a plant, but the plant will. So they're going to convert carbon dioxide and water to carbohydrates in the form of glucose. Glucose is the simplest form of sugar, okay? So a glucose molecule is one sugar molecule, which is known as a carbohydrate, okay, plus oxygen. Plants release oxygen, which is a wonderful thing. So what that looks like is CO2 plus H2O, so carbon dioxide. The di, you can see that means two. So carbon, C, dioxide, two oxides, plus water, H2O, yields, gives you, through light energy and sun, carbohydrate, which is C6H12O6, or glucose, we call that glucose, plus oxygen, which the free form of oxygen is always going to be O2. So you're going to always see O2. You're going to be like, why the heck is there a 2 there? That's because that is the form of oxygen that we can breathe. It's always O2, two molecules of oxygen. So you have to know that all these tiny little numbers actually tell you something. The 2's, the little teeny 2's, means there are 2 atoms of oxygen, okay? In H2O, there are 2 atoms of hydrogen and only 1 of oxygen. Because remember, if there's no number after that letter, that is an understood one molecule or one atom of that element, okay? Of course, you need to balance it, okay? So you have you have to actually add these 6's here, the 6 CO2's plus 6 H2O's yield you C6H12O6 plus 6 O2's, okay? Again, here's kind of a picture of it. You have the light energy from the sun. You have carbon dioxide from what we breathe out, okay? And the plants contain that pigment chlorophyll in which photosynthesis actually takes place. You need water, obviously, and the products are glucose, which is what the plant uses for energy. So you can't necessarily see that because that's the plant's way of making food. They're called autotrophs because they produce their own food. We don't produce our own food. Wouldn't that be great if we're like, let's make a hamburger, and all of a sudden your body like makes the hamburger inside itself? No. We have to actually go and get our food. We have to eat something. But plants make their own food, so that in the form of glucose, and they give off oxygen. Okay? So that's good old photosynthesis. So let's listen to this lovely song, and you guys will hopefully get this stuck in your pretty little heads and maybe remember a little bit more about photosynthesis. It's kind of cool, by the way.
Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions. Plants take water, sun, and CO2 to make glucose, the sugar that they use for food. They also put oxygen into the air so we can share, because oxygen is everywhere. The energy transforms from solar to chemical all the time, everywhere. The process is identical in every plant and every tree, enabling all living things to be. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions and synergy. Photosynthesis, captured. Electrons flow through the photosystems, flowing so fast you might have missed them. Within the chloroplast lies the action. The thylakoid membrane is where it happens. ATP and NADPH are products of life, water, air, and space. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions and synergy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions. The Calvin cycle or dark reaction doesn't need direct sunlight for it to run right. CO2 from the air enters the chloroplast, mixing with organic molecules for the last time with the help of the enzyme ribisco. Carbon fixation, I thought you knew this, yo. It forms a carbohydrate known as G3P. It's created, recreated, and recycled, you see. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions and synergy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions. Leaves on trees and even weeds meet needs, making oxygen we need to breathe. You wanna learn it with these, you wanna master the keys. It's photosynthesis, listen to this please. Leaves on trees and even weeds meet needs, making oxygen we need to breathe. You wanna learn it with these, you wanna master the keys. It's photosynthesis, listen to this please. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions and synergy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this discussion of sunlight and transfer of energy. Photosynthesis, let's get into this process of chemical reactions.
I love it. Okay, so that was a little bit more intense than what we're going to go over, because when you get into high school and you take biology, hopefully with me, we'll talk about those light and dark reactions and what happens in the chloroplast, and what those chlorophyll, those pigments actually do. So there's a lot to it, but I want you guys to know the basics, okay? So there I am done. I hope I didn't lose you in too many places. First of all, hopefully I didn't lose you in the photosynthesis part. I might have lost you a little bit in the balancing equations, but again, I want you guys just to kind of get a basics for that, and then we'll build on that, and you will as you go on through high school. So there you have a little bit on photosynthesis.